Hey Sugar Creek students, Who am I? My name's Jon and welcome to week 2 of the 28-day prayer challenge. Several years ago, when I first started making YouTube videos and first started doing ministry online, I was really obsessed with this idea of having this giant platform online and having a really big audience. I'll be honest with you, I wanted more followers. I wanted more subscribers. Give me those likes, give me those comments. But one day I was having a conversation with a friend of mine over coffee, and he asked me a question that I will never forget. We were talking about growing my online following, and he looked at me and he asked, "Jon, are you wanting people to follow you, or are you wanting people to follow Jesus?" And right there, that day, in that coffee shop, I wrote this prayer in my journal. I wrote, "God, if you give me the platform, I will use it for you." And I believe that that day, through that prayer, I signed a contract with God where I said, okay, God, it is no longer about me. It's no longer about who's following me, but whoever you decide to give me, God, I am committed to pointing them back to you. And I've gotten to watch over the years as God has answered that prayer. I've watched my following and my influence slowly grow online, and I hope that I'm continuing to point people back to Jesus. In Matthew 18:18, Jesus says that whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. And in The Circle Maker, Mark Batterson talks about how that word bind means to put a contract on something. When we circle things in prayer, whether it be a job or a relationship or even a YouTube channel, and our desires in prayer align with God's desires, then we can trust that the minute that prayer is prayed, God has placed a contract on it. This means that even if your prayer hasn't been answered yet in the earthly realm, we can have hope that God is working it out according to His will. And praying a Matthew 18:18 prayer means saying and believing that before I could see it, God decreed it. It's believing that God has the answer before He shows you the answer. And so I wonder in your life, what prayers or what answers to prayers you can't see yet, but God has already decreed them. Maybe it's a friend or sibling that isn't following Jesus, and you have been praying for God to do a powerful work in their life. What if God has already bound a relationship with that person? What if God knows the plan He has for them? Maybe it's something to do with your future, like what college you're gonna go to. Well, what if God already has the acceptance letter written? I wonder what kind of peace we could have if we truly believed that when we pray in God's will, the contract is already signed. In essence, the prayer is already answered. And in the meantime, are you willing to keep praying and keep circling? When it comes to these prayer contracts, are you willing to do your part and trust that God will do His part? Hey y'all, thanks so much for tuning in this week. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, or if you haven't followed Sugar Creek Students over on Instagram, that is where we are hitting you every single day with some encouragement during this 28-day prayer challenge. So don't forget, subscribe here and go over to Instagram and follow us there. I will see you later this week, actually, on the IG story. I'll see you then. I love you all. Bye. That was a weird goodbye.